Because in some way leadership means you are able to draw these 1,000 people and take them in one direction. You are able to inspire these people or instigate these people, or like a Pied Piper, if you walk, they walk behind you because somehow you captured their minds and they decided that your way of thought and your way of looking is better than their own. It's not a simple thing. For people to think that your way of thinking is better than theirs, you will have to prove it in 1,000 different ways, otherwise they're not going to surrender their own way of thinking and feeling and whatever. So, for you to prove that, first thing is you must be in charge of yourself. When you do not know how to take charge of your mind, your energies, your body and yourself, how will you take charge of them? And they're not safe in your hands. I would say, anybody who is scattered all over the place, in his hands, nobody is safe. Such a person should be one of the departments, he should not be a leader. If he has to be a leader, in his lap everybody should be safe, then only he can be a leader. That is possible only if you have taken charge of yourself. Lot of people have gotten there somehow. Can I tell you a joke?
Please, please.
On a certain day, a bull and a pheasant were grazing. Bull was chomping the grass, pheasant was picking ticks off the bull partnership. There's a huge tree at the edge of the field. The pheasant very nostalgically looked at the tree and said, "Oh, alas, there was a time I could fly to the topmost branch of the tree. Now I do not have enough strength in my wing even to get to the first branch." The bull very nonchalantly said, "That's no issue. Just eat a little bit of my dung every day. Within a fortnight you'll get there." Pheasant said, "Come on, what kind of rubbish is that?" The bull said, "Really, try and see, the whole humanity is on it."
I think
Very
subtle joke, we need to understand and recognize it. Because Sadhguru was very conscious not to use the terminology which we all use, which would have had a ringing tone.
So very hesitantly, the pheasant started pecking at the dung, and lo, on the very first day it reached the first branch of the tree. Within a fortnight, it reached the topmost branch of the tree, just beginning to enjoy the scenery. An old farmer was rocking on his rocking chair, saw a fat old pheasant sitting on top of the tree, pulled out his shotgun and shot the bird off the tree. The moral of the story is, many times even bullshit can get you to the top, but it never lets you stay there.
The phrase was coming at the end, where the joke really was cracked.
No, I was just trying to sensitize you
I know.
to the dung
Sadhguru
first.
always says this, that drama is important.
The idea of God has entered human mind only because of one reason. Like, we crawled out of our mother's wombs, looked around, too much creation, you can't deny it. And you didn't do it. You didn't do it for sure, you know that. You naturally looked at your mother, well, she delivered you, but she can't deliver the planet. Then you looked at your father, oh, not him. He's not capable of creating the cosmos, you can see that. He's a nice man, but he can't do all this, you immediately realize. Then you ask somebody around you, the simple childish answer is, there is somebody up there who did all this. But now, see, we are sitting on a round planet and the planet is spinning. Every time you look up, invariably you're looking up in the wrong direction. You know how many prayers got misdirected? You're putting in the wrong ID. Does anybody know which is up and which is down in this cosmic space? Is it somewhere written this side up? So nobody is conscious about, nobody is capable of knowing which is up and which is down. Nobody knows which is forward, which is backward. There is only one context to your life right now. There is inward and there is outward. This is a reality. Rest is all imagination made up for the sake of convenience. We say this is up, this is down, that's not the truth. That is just a convenience for language. For the usage of language and communication, we are using it. But in reality, there's only one context, there is inward and outward. Just in case today, if you get enlightened, you will lose that context. You will not know which is inward, which is outward, everything looks the same. What is within and what's outside looks the same, so before you get enlightened, enjoy the context. So about gender equality, it shouldn't even be a question. What I'm saying is you must be concerned about somebody's gender only for certain type of activity in your life. When you look like this, why are you bothered who is a man, who is a woman, unless you're trying to fall in love with somebody or something? It shouldn't even be your concern whether this is a man or a woman. You're doing business, you're doing some other activity, why should you be concerned? Right now, human minds are so filled with this nonsense because their intelligence has been hijacked by their hormones. They're not able to look at the world the way it is. They're just completely hijacked by this. It's a chemical sabotage, you know. Chemical weapons. So because of this, you're constantly looking who is a man, who is a woman. Where is it necessary to look at somebody as a man or a woman when you're working in the office? There should be not gender equality, there should be no gender on the street. Everybody should be able to exist as human beings. It's only in certain areas of life you have to be conscious that somebody is a woman, somebody is a man. Rest of the areas of life, it's simply not needed.
I think that's something that corporate leaders should take note, because I find that in the corporate workplace, they're still trying to figure out reasons, why they cannot employ women, or they are not employed women.
I think they're not successful at home, that's why.
Again, good message, introspect. I think the men have to… the male leaders have to introspect as to why is it that… and one reason Sadhguru has given.
If they were very successful with a woman at home, there would be no issue with any woman that they meet in the workplace or on the street. They're not successful with the woman at home. That is why all the other things are happening.
Net, as it were.
I even met the person who started this Facebook thing. And about 8 months ago, I was telling my daughter, show me this, what is this Facebook, I've never seen. She said, oh, this is not for you. I said, why is it not for me? Am I so ancient that I can't book up somebody's face? She said, that's not it. She said, that's not it, you are anyway connecting with millions of people just like that. So why do you need Facebook, she said. I said, but I want to see what it is. She said, no, it's not for you, it's just rubbish. Then I said, it's rubbish, why do you go on it? She says, I have no other way to connect. You're just connecting with people like this, so you don't have to go on it. I have no other way to connect, so I go on it. And my time on the Facebook is from… she was telling me, it's from the age of 16, now she's 22, she said, it is reducing for me because I'm able to connect better as the days go by. And when I was 16, I couldn't connect with anybody, so I was always on the Facebook. Now I'm able to connect better, so I'm going off the Facebook gradually, but I'm keeping it like a little bit. So in some way, from her wisdom I'm understanding this, some way, if you're not able to get along with people who are sitting right next to you right now, you would like to connect with somebody far away. It's safe. It doesn't cost anything. If you have to fall in love with the person who's next to you right now, it costs life. You have to give away a part of your life, otherwise it's not going to work. You can love somebody in New Zealand. Every day he will write love letters to you, you can write love letters to him. You don't even know whether it's a man or a woman because we do not know how many faces he has. And it is a kind of an entertainment and a distraction. This is not new, I want you to understand. People have been doing this for a long time. We have this ashram coming up in Tennessee, and Tennessee is a different kind of place. It's a God's own country, okay, in a different way. So, people think in Tennessee that we are worshipping some weird gods. So messages spread around, they're worshipping weird gods, this big institution coming up and all kinds of things they're doing, they may be doing human sacrifice and whatever, blogs started coming up, they're worshipping weird gods. Then I thought, okay, this is not good. All the society in that little town, we invited them for a high tea in the ashram. So our ashramites played nice music for them, made homemade biscuits, nice tea, and they treated them well. They were like that and slowly they relaxed music and they started dancing with us and everything. Then they said, come and see our meditation hall. We have the largest meditation hall in the Western Hemisphere, it's a single dome without any columns, it's a huge meditation hall. So we took them into the meditation hall, they looked everywhere, they're looking for the weird gods. No weird god anywhere. Then they went out and said, these are godless people, these are communists. So I walk into the little town. Even today, not a single person who is not fair-skinned exists in this town, okay? Few Indians have somehow squeezed in. I walk in the town and though he saw me white. And somebody comes up and says, God loves us. He stands in front of me and says, God loves us. I say, the way you're made, only God can love you. Who else can love the mistakes that He's made? God loves you doesn't mean anything. If you make yourself in such a way that nobody around you can help loving you, that's a great way to live. Now this Facebook or long-distance love affair is not a new thing. People have been doing this in their own way without technology. Now they're using technology. I'm not saying it's wrong, but I'm saying it may make people very remote islands in the world, that they think sitting in their room, they're having a great relationship with the world without ever knowing what human transaction is. Because every human being has to learn human transaction, because if you do not learn human transaction, you will not become a human being, you will become a psychological being, a mass of nonsense in your head and you think that's everything. Only when you transact with people, when there is giving and taking and the borders are crossed and somebody irritates you, somebody steps on your leg and somebody steps on your head and they do all kinds of things. When they do all these kinds of things, you understand your limitations, your boundaries, your struggles. This is very needed for human growth.